How's everyone doing? Hope you're good. RG255 fell off his brother's electric scooter and then it hurt. Damn. Sorry to hear that. Hope you make a quick recovery. Hope you weren't going too fast. Shamila Nasir says hi. How are you, Shamila? Hope you're good. Fish says hat of the stream. This is a existing hat. So I'm not sure if it counts. I have ordered a new hat. We'll see when that comes. I put Matty Cash on the thumbnail. I hope you like that. Bagwell says hi. How you doing? Aeon says hi. Score prediction. I'll see if I can get the team up quickly, and then we'll have a look at that. RG255 says he was going fast. Yeah, I hope you make a quick recovery. Best to take it easy. Derwood says hello, champion family. Hope everyone's doing good. Yeah, I'm good. How are you? How was the house move? You moved house on Isak Day. That's a good way to remember it. But I hope everything went well. Fish wanted fish. No, you said put Matty Cash on the thumbnail, so that's what I did. There's also no player called Fish, so that might make it slightly difficult. Let's see if I can find these teams. How do I do this again? Netherlands got Verbruggen, Dumfries, Van Hekke. Obviously, Frimpong is injured. Van Hekke, Van Dijk, Van de Ven, Gravenberch, De Jong, Reinders, Simons, Depay, Gakpo. And Poland have Skorupski, Mati Cash, Wiznewski, Bednarek, Kivio, Sliz, Piotr Zielinski? Is he still around? That's a bit of a surprise. Kaminsky, Simansky, Zelowski, and Lewandowski. There's a commonality in the end of the names here. But yeah, I mean, based on that, probably Netherlands probably win 2-0, I think. Probably. RG255 fell on his face. I've combined the two words. Hand and face on concrete. Damn, that's never a nice one. But yeah, best to take it easy. Fingers crossed you should be feeling better soon. LFC Rasav says, is that a Liverpool shirt, mate? Indeed it is. Put when Liverpool versus Galatasaray. All right, so you want me to put those players? Okay, if you remind me beforehand, I'll do that. Dawood says, it's good, so happy it's over. Been unpacking since, and I feel like I haven't made a dent in it. Yeah, it's one of those things. Kind of takes forever. In some ways, it's harder to unpack than it is to pack, because to unpack you have to kind of put everything in its place, whereas packing you're just kind of putting it in a box. But yeah, it is one of those things that kind of takes a while. But I guess you just have to kind of progress day by day. RG255's accident is getting worse and worse. It happened on the road. As in on the road where the cars go, or like on the pavement, if you know what I mean. But yeah, best to relax a bit, I think. Ikram says, do you think Liverpool will qualify for the Champions League again? As in next year? Yeah, I'd say so. I'd say they get top 4 or top 5. But to be honest, yeah, I think they'll qualify quite easily. Frisch says Brighton signing on January. Marvin Hitz. Who's that? I don't know who that is, and is he any good? And they are only showing the Bulgaria-Spain game in the US. Wow. Is that kicking off at the same time? Yeah, it is. That one should be good as well. The road was empty. Well, that's good. That's good to know. Hazard says, "Where do you think Newcastle will finish this season?" I still think they'll be. I still think they'll be quite high up there. Uneducated prediction, without thinking about it too much, maybe like 5th, or is that? RG255 says 8th. I think comfortably top half. 5th, maybe 6th, something like that. Hazard says at least 7th. Yeah, I think they'll get 7th at the very least. At the very least. Well, they've kicked off. So how do I do the time? 20. Oh, I've put the minutes on 45. That's incorrect. M11 says Isak was a mistake. Should have signed Barcola. Absolutely not. I think Barcola is terrible. If you can't get into PSG's team, then you're not a starter for Liverpool's team. And I think also there was a need for kind of more of an out centre forward additionally, and I think on top of that, Isak's also Premier League proven. 7-3 in my opinion. Oh, 7 to 3rd, but I will finish 5th or 5th or 4th. Fair enough. Fish says, write my request of thumbnail. Why do you keep saying Cove? Do you mean of? Of Galatasaray versus Liverpool, Chelsea. I'm gonna sneeze. You know when you're gonna half sneeze, but then you don't sneeze, but you still feel like sneezing. It's one of those. Yeah. So this is your request for the thumbnail. Just remind me a few days before. Is that game? I think that game's the last one, or am I wrong? Ikram. Oh God, I'm gonna proper sneeze. You know when you're half. I'll sneeze eventually. What do you think of Arne Slot's long-term project at Liverpool? I mean, it's looking good. Oh God. The thing is, as soon as I start talking, I start needing to sneeze. And when I stop, then I don't. It's annoying as hell. Maybe it's this fan that I've got on. Let me turn the fan off. There you go. Fan's turned off, so now that annoying noise is gone. What do you think of Arne Slot's long-term project at Liverpool? Early signs are positive. I mean, winning the league in your first year is positive. I think he's strengthened the team as well. I think that's also positive. I also think he's shown a willingness to have loyalty to players, but not excessive loyalty to players to the extent where it's to the detriment of the team, if you know what I mean. Like, Klopp was very loyal to players, and I think loyalty is a strength. But I think sometimes too much of a thing can make it a bad thing. You know, like drinking water is good, but if you drink too much water, it will have catastrophic effects. So I think Slot's found a balance between being loyal to players and not being too loyal to players. Additionally, he's willing to give young players a chance. Additionally, he seems to be quite a good coach, given how he's found a new position for Gravenberch. So I'd say, yeah, things are looking quite positive. Lewis says, does anyone else worry Wirtz ain't happy at Liverpool? After 2 games, not really. Can't say I'm concerned about that. Fish, I have no idea what this means. I think him having a long-term plan means he's staying for a while. Very true. I just hope they conduct the next step and sort out his contract. Which I'm sure they're doing. I'm sure they're doing in the background. When Slot joined last year, he only had a 3-year contract, which means now he's got only 2 years left. So I hope they're sorting that out in the background. And I'm sure they are, because if you think about it from Slot's perspective, he was working with players like Max Uefa and so forth, and now he gets to work with the best of the best. So I'd hope he would want to stay as well. Finley says the rat's finally gone. Yeah, I hope he enjoys Madrid. I know. I do get what you were saying. Should Liverpool give more chances to young academy players? Well, if you think about it, they do give chances to young academy players. So we've seen a Rio Ngamoa come through to the point where Rio Ngamoa is being touted as the Diaz replacement. So I think they are giving chances. Trainioni, another one who's coming through, and typically you don't see that at a lot of clubs. A lot of clubs will just get a youngster, loan them out, and then eventually sell them. So I think they've got a good balance with respect to how they give chances to the young players at the moment. Maybe a bit more of a chance. Like it would be nice to maybe see the youngsters coming on at the end of a game when we're significantly up. But like I'd give it like an 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10 kind of thing. How you doing, Dan? Dan says, hey bro, your thoughts on Liverpool failing to purchase a defender on deadline day? I was going to say something, but I think you've kind of encapsulated in your second comment what I was going to say. Now, I appreciate Liverpool had a deal agreed. I appreciate Liverpool had a medical agreed. And I appreciate it kind of wasn't 100% their fault that Palace pulled the plug at the end, because apparently Glasner threw a fit, and then when Glasner threw a fit, the deal was off. So a lot of people are saying that's not Liverpool's fault. For me, I still think it's partially Liverpool's fault, because surely you should get that deal done not at the very last second, if you know what I mean. It's a bit like doing your homework on the very last day. So whilst I appreciate Liverpool had a deal agreed, whilst I appreciate Liverpool had a medical agreed, and whilst I appreciate Liverpool had terms agreed, equally, it's like, did you honestly have to leave that till the very last day? Did you honestly have to leave that to the very last second? Because when you leave things to the last second, there's a degree of volatility in doing that. So and again, I don't know if it was Liverpool who left it to the last second, or if it was a Palace thing, but either way, hopefully next time round they can sort things out a bit. Hopefully next time round they can sort things out a bit quicker. But to be honest, with respect to Gahey, they'll be back in for him in January. And if not January, they'll get him for free next year. Hulls says, how happy are you with Isak? I'm buzzing. Yeah, super happy. Super happy. I've not been like quite this excited for a striker since Fernando Torres, to be honest. Just going back a bit with respect to the strikers who were signed. Nunes I wasn't that excited about. Firmino, I was like, who's this guy? Even Suarez, like I know Suarez has a reputation, but I was like, okay, is he going to be as good as Torres? The last kind of striker I remember being super excited about was Fernando Torres, which was like 20 years ago, and Isak has generated the same level of excitement. So yeah, I'm super excited. I'd say what I'm excited about the most is probably the fact that he's Premier League proven. I thought Van Dijk was going to score there. So yeah, buzzing, absolute buzzing about this signing. Ikram says, "Do you think Liverpool needs more signings? Maybe a defender, but like I'd still give the window probably a 9 or a 10 out of 10." Durwood kept checking Twitter while she was moving and was so happy that it was said that Gahey signed. And I checked a little later and was so mad that he pulled that, or mad that Palace pulled out. Yeah, it's one of those things. I was annoyed, but equally, considering we got Isak done on the same day, that helped to shield the blow significantly. I was like, oh, that's disappointing, but hey, we're still signing Isak, kind of thing. I don't understand why we had to wait for teams to find a replacement, says Durwood. Yeah, and again, it comes down to the whole thing of leaving things until the very last second. It just feels like leaving your homework for the last day when you've got months to do your homework. Again, I don't know if there were aspects that were outside the team's control. I don't know if there were aspects that were outside Richard Hughes's control that meant that he was forced to do that. But I'm hoping a lesson can be learnt there. Now Madrid is going for him. Is that Mark Gahey? I can't imagine him going to Madrid. Or at least I hope not. Yeah, I think Ekitike and Isak will play together. I'll be interested to see what that means from a formation perspective. But yeah, I think they will play together. And even if they don't, like, we need strength in depth, right? People always complain, oh my God, look how thin Liverpool's bench is. Oh my God, Liverpool have got 14-year-olds on their bench. Oh my God, none of Liverpool's bench can drive. Well, guess not. Now there's people old enough to drive. So I think having that depth is important as well. Pixel says, hey all, how's it going, Pixel? Hope you're well. Have you seen the Football Manager 2026 video that came out today? You know the game they spent 2 years making. It's interesting. I think graphically it looks good. The animations look very similar, but I'm eager to kind of see more of it before I make my mind up. Some people are quite happy with it. Some people are saying it looks exactly the same. I can understand where they're coming from. I need to perhaps see more of it. Dan pulling out the Spanish. ¿Cómo estás? Is that like how are you? I should probably know that. Bolivia tonight. Ikram says, what do you think of Liverpool's tactics under Slot? I mean, they're good. I mean, if you win the league, they must be... Oh, Gakpo almost scored. If you win the league, there must be good tactics. Again, they're similar to Klopp's. Why am I messing up so many words today? Klopp's tactics. They're a bit more reserved, which I think is necessary. I think with Klopp's tactics, they were so intense that players would get injured quite frequently. But he seems to have struck a nice balance, and it seems to be working. More specifically, he seems to have found a role for Gakpo on the left. And remember, before Slot, Gakpo was more central. So he seems to have found the best position for Gakpo. I know Gakpo for Netherlands and PSV was a left winger, but even so. And he seems to have found the best position for Gravenberch as well, centrally. So things are looking good. Max Frausberg says hi. How are you, Max? Hope you're good. We Chat Football says, what are your expectations of Liverpool this season? That's a good question. With respect to expectations, to be honest, I would expect them to win the league. This is not something I kind of typically say, but just seeing kind of how they've strengthened the team and who they've strengthened the team with, I would expect them to win the league, and I'd expect them to go further in the Champions League. The trouble with the Champions League is there's a higher degree of volatility there, because how you perform in the Champions League is highly dependent with respect to who you end up playing against. So with the Champions League, I wouldn't say I have an expectation for them to win it. If they do win it, fantastic. But I'd say I have an expectation for them to get to at least the quarters, hopefully further. But with the league, expectation is for them to win it. If they finish second, I won't lose any sleep, but the expectation is for me to win it. What do you think? Fish says hi. I want you. Quite a few people do. Yeah, I saw that, Dan. Daniel Levy has kind of stepped down. I was looking for a bit more context around that, but all the context currently is that hey, he just stepped down. But there's no additional conjecture or kind of context around that. For me, it sounds like he was probably pushed. Quite often at that level, quite often at the very kind of senior level, you don't get quote unquote fired, you step down. But if you step down or you resign, in reality you've been fired. So they probably got rid of him, but I'm looking forward to more context there, which we'll find out. Taster Tester says, how's it, man? All good. How's things with you? I hope you've had a rest after working on the weekend. Hope you've had a rest. But yeah, how's things with you? Hope all is well. Durwood is both happy and sad about Elliot. Yeah, I'd agree. Sad that he's going, but I think happy that he's going to a club where I think where he'll get a lot of opportunity, and where I think he'll flourish as well. I think he'll flourish there as well. It's a bit weird him taking the number 9 shirt, I can't lie. That's a bit strange, but whatever floats your boat. It's like he wanted the number 19 that he has right now, but he just couldn't get the one. But it's a good club for him. It's a 35 million with an obligation to buy if he plays more than 10 games. So I think he will end up going permanently. But apparently there's a buyback clause. So we'll see if Liverpool activate that. Ad says, do you think Poland got a goal in them? Yeah, I think so. When you got Lewandowski up front, there's always a chance. Pixels excited for FM. I'd say I'm intrigued. I'd say I'm intrigued. I think graphically, I can see the uplift in the graphics engine. It looks better from that perspective. The animations I don't like because the animations look exactly the same. But whatever. I'm just eager to see a bit more. Eager to see a bit more on it as time progresses. Taster Testers had a bit of a rest yesterday. Went out with my lady and enjoyed ourselves. How about you? Nice Liverpool win over the weekend. Yeah, good to hear. Number one, good. You've had a rest and a nice time out. In terms of me, been quite busy this week. I keep thinking it's Monday, but it's not. It's Thursday, and I don't know why I keep thinking it's Monday. But yeah, been busy. Weather's gotten a lot better, and by that I mean it's got a lot colder in England, which is fantastic, to the point where I think I might go out on Saturday because it's finally colder. Nice Liverpool win on the weekend. Yeah, good. Nice little free kick by Sabazlai. So yeah, things are getting better. But yeah, all good, man. All good. Ilyas says, "Hi, bro. How are you? I'm good. Good, thank you. Had a busy week, but the weather is getting better. I've got the fan off, so quite. I don't know if previously you've realized. Sometimes when I watch these videos back, I don't watch the whole thing back just to make sure everything's okay. I can just hear. It's normally because this fan is on, but now that the weather's getting colder, I'm happy and I don't need to put the fan on. But yeah, all good. How's things with you? Hope you're well." Simon says, how are you, bro? Oh, good, man. How's things with you? Durwood says, did you see Salah calling out Anfield Edition about the post with Diaz and Nunes? Yeah, I love that. I just love that so much. There's so many of these kind of clickbaity kind of aggregator accounts who do this kind of nonsense. And when they get called out on it, then they just kind of nicely get put on their place. So yeah, I love that. It was some sort of post like, what look at the upgrade we've made, and it had like Isak versus Nunes, and it had Vert versus Diaz. It's like there's no need for that. There's no need for that. I appreciate people will get angry at their players in the heat of the moment, like if they're taking a shot and it goes wide kind of thing. I think that's a human tendency and a human reaction to a certain degree. But to create a whole picture, there's a level of vindictivism that goes into doing that, and you're just spreading negativity for clicks. So I'm glad they got called out. Jake says, what do you think about the international break 3 games into the season? Kind of hate it, to be honest. We just got back into the season and now we have to put up with this nonsense again. To be honest, I was like, it's just Poland defending extremely deep and Netherlands trying to get through. So I'm not a fan of it. The good thing is, after this is the next break in November, maybe. So yeah, I'm not a huge fan of it, but it is what it is. Ten Hag almost feel bad for him. Yeah, that's quite funny. So, is it after 2 games? Is it after 2 games that he's been fired? The thing is with that though, like I appreciate Ten Hag is useless. But the thing is, I can't really blame him too much, because I think if you're an organization and then you hire somebody and you fire them like 2 games later, 2 weeks later, to me that's on the organization. Like what were you asking him at the interview? Like what were you validating? What are your tests? Because obviously your tests are completely rubbish. If as soon as he comes in the door, you're like, yeah, this guy sucks, let's get rid of him. So whilst I appreciate Ten Hag is rubbish, it's like, what is your interview mechanism if you let him through and then you had to go back on that decision and it cost you millions of pounds? So weirdly for that, I blame Leverkusen for it more than Ten Hag. Fiona says, do you like Virgil? Yeah, he's good. I do like him. Best centre-back I've ever seen for Liverpool, I'd say. How about you? I grew up in the 90s, so I've seen like Sami Hyypiä, Jamie Carragher, Skirtle, Daniel Agger was very good, but yeah, Van Dijk would be the best one, I'd say. Taster Tester says, I think the reason why you think it's Monday is because today has that slow motion vibe like a Monday. Certainly, yeah, could be that. Certainly could be that. Maybe also because this feels like the first football game, and first is kind of typically a Monday thing. I don't know, but yeah, it's probably a good misunderstanding to have, because it means tomorrow's Friday, so that's always nice. What do you think of Mark Gahey? I think he's fantastic. I'm disappointed the deal didn't get done. There perhaps is a level of responsibility on Liverpool, like with respect to why did they leave it until the very last minute. But I'm sure they will be back in for him. Simon's decent, just tipping away. Need a change of scenery. Yeah, same. Like I haven't had much of a change of scenery most of summer, mostly because it's too hot. I don't like going out when it's hot, but I know the feeling. Thankfully, it's a bit cooler now, so that does help the change of scenery aspect. Fish says, when's the dancing? That will be coming later. Dawood says, rumour is that Ten Hag didn't get along with everyone, but at least Kwanzaa is doing great there. Yeah, apparently he ostracised and aggravated and annoyed absolutely everybody. But which, again, I appreciate. But also, when you're doing interviews, it's not just about technical skills, it's also about the character of the individual. Is this individual... Ooh, Gakpo should have scored there. Is this individual going to fit into the ethos that we have at our organisation? People should be validating that at the interview stage. I've interviewed people in the past. Sometimes they're great. But if I say this person ain't going to fit in, ain't going to work, so then they haven't done that check. So if this is somebody who's going to rock the boat, for me, it's not really the fault of the person who rocks the boat. It's more the people who were put in place to validate that when they were interviewing him. But yeah, it's good. It's good that Kwanzaa seems to be loving life there. I think he scored a goal as well the other day, so that's pretty nice. Taster Tester says, what are your plans for the weekend? Good question. I've got 2 holidays booked, which I need to continue planning. I'm one of those people who kind of plans every aspect of the holiday rather than just leaving it to chance. When I get there, sometimes I'm like, you know what, I'd rather go off plan, but I like having a plan. So I got 2 holidays booked. I need to work out the itinerary for those. But I will go out somewhere as well. I might make a trip somewhere. I might go to London or something. Haven't decided. We'll see. How about you? Ikram loves my stream style. Very kind. Thank you, Ikram. Simon says, with Kwanzaa, we already have the personal terms done with him if he was to come back. Yeah. I think that aspect is kind of sorted. And there is a nice little buyback clause in there that we can invoke. I guess the only risk is if he was to go to Leverkusen to, say, Bayern Munich, that would then invalidate the clause. But we've done as much as we can there. So, yeah, it's positive how we handle that. We got a bit of money in, and we basically said if we want him back later, we'll just pay the clause. Durwood says if they would check references, maybe these managers wouldn't get fired straight away. 100%. Also, additionally, his body of work at Manchester United was terrible. Someone's just scored there. Is that header from a corner? It's Dumfries. They've all got short hair, so I'm like, who is that? But it's Dumfries. Nice header from a corner. So we will change this to 1-0. But yeah, in the summer, I remember some sort of news story came up that Leverkusen were doing a rebuild, and we were questioning that. We were saying, why would you give rebuild money to an individual who completely failed his rebuild at his last club? Like, you literally saw him fail a rebuild at Man United, and then you turned around and said, that's exactly what we need. That's exactly the person we're going to give a bunch of money to. Lo and behold, we've been proven right after 2 games. I didn't think it would be quite this early. But yeah, again, it has to go back to the people doing the recruit, but I failed to see kind of what they saw in Ten Hag, because he was terrible at Man United. And to fire him after 2 games, did they even interview him? Did they even check anything? Did they even check any references? Doesn't really look like it. Taste testers will be working, so not much of a weekend, but he's going on leave on the 15th for 3 weeks. Very nice. Are you doing anything nice? Anything nice during your leave? Hope it's a nice break. We need Dumfries at Liverpool. Dumfries is good, to be fair. I can't lie. Is he still at Inter Milan or one of those? He always kind of seems to score, and he's physically he's very good. He's one of the kind of long line of right backs that Netherlands have at the moment. You got Dumfries, you got Frimpong, you got Gertrude. But in terms of a pure right back, he might be the best one. And he speaks Dutch, so he'd fit in. He'd fit in with half the team. he'd fit in with half the team and the coaching staff. I wouldn't mind him. Ikram says, "Do you like the match so far?" It's alright. It's 1-0. It's mostly been Netherlands, to be honest. Poland defending very deep. I've seen worse. Fish is somebody's husband. That's good information. It's very good to know. Fish also has a happy chicken. That's also very nice to know. Ikram says, "Who's been Liverpool's standout player this season?" Probably too early to say. I think we've only had 3 games. I mean, if you were insistent on me making a decision, I would perhaps lean towards Van Dijk. I think he was very good in the Arsenal game, and I think he's been quite good all season. But even then, the phrasing all season is like 3 games. But Van Dijk's been good so far. Taste the Testers hasn't planned that far ahead. My plans always fall apart, so I just take it as it comes. Fair enough, understandable. I hope it's a good break. Hope it's a good break, regardless. Liverpool versus Poland. Yeah, that's kind of the main reason. Main reason I was looking forward to this game, to be fair. Darren says, "Is Xavi Simons playing well?" He's playing all right. Yeah, he's playing well. He's looked lively. To be fair, Poland are defending very deep, so it is a bit difficult for him to make space. But I think he's done well. Are you a Spurs fan by any chance? Are you happy about the Daniel Levy news? Gakpo, yeah, it could be the best player. Gakpo has been very good. Finley says, "Hi mate, how are you?" Hey, I'm good. How are you? Jack says, "What you doing on TikTok live, Amarim?" Well, I think I'm gonna get fired from Man United, so finding another avenue to spend my time. Figured I'll do this before I get sent back to Portugal. Darren is a Spurs fan. Nice. Do you know what happened with the Daniel Levy thing? Like, have they said what the reason is for that? Because some news came out maybe an hour or so ago that he'd resigned. But for me, whenever you resign at a very high level, in reality that means you've been fired. Have they given any more context on that, or is it still a bit thin in that area? Finley's all right. Just sat fuming after not getting Barcelona tickets. Understandable. Was that like for a game, for a football game? Is that Newcastle versus Barcelona maybe? Yeah, it must be. Understandable to be unhappy about that. When I got on your stream, I thought Netherlands were winning 9-0, but it was your channel image making it look like a 9. Oh, wow. As in the one, as in the one, as in the font of the one looks like a 9. I'll see. I'll see if I can change the font to something that's less confusing. But yeah, 9-0. 9-0 would be good. Liverpool on top, says Laser, as in Netherlands. Yeah, they are, to be fair. Finley says, yeah, our opening game at home gonna be a rerun of Tino Asparilla. I totally forgot about him. He was the bee's knees back in the day. Tino Livramento. Can't lie, Livramento's looking very good. Shahada Hossein says, where are you from? I'm from the UK. Where are you from? Laser says, want to follow me? If you want me to, I can. Ikram says, "Do you think Liverpool's squad depth is strong enough for all competitions?" I think that's a good question. Goalkeeper, yes, because they've got Alisson, they've got Mamadashvili, they've got Armin Pesci, they've got Pitaluga. Is he still there? So they've got quite a few keepers. Right back, they've got Frimpong, they've got Bradley. I think that's enough. Centre back is perhaps a position where you could see that it's perhaps a position where they could have done with a bit more depth. I know they were in for Mr. Crystal Palace, which didn't quite work out. So maybe a bit thin at centre back. Left back, they've got Kirkes and Robertson, which is fine. What's his name? Tsimikas ended up going to Roma on loan. Defensive midfield, you could say they've got Gravenberch, McAllister. So with respect to defensive midfield, they play a 2, right? They've got Gravenberch, they've got McAllister, they've got Szoboszlai, who can play there. They've got Curtis Jones, who can play there. So I'd say that's okay. Attacking midfield, they've got Wirtz, they've got Szoboszlai. I'd say that's fine. Right wing, they've got Salah. I don't really like Chiesa on the right, so I'd say right wing depth is perhaps lacking slightly. Left wing, there's plenty. Gakpo, Rio, Chiesa. Up front, I think is plenty as well. They've got Isak and they've got Ekitike. So I'd say the only positions that perhaps concern me slightly are centre back, right wing, and if you were really insistent, defensive midfield. Durandi says, hi, how are you, Durandi? The cat in your picture has the zoomies. Darren says, Levy just stepped down, but there are rumours that a new investment company is lurking around, and I heard he would rather step down than being pushed. That makes sense now. That makes sense. Typically at that kind of level, they pretty much always step down. Like with the did you see the thing with the Coldplay kind of with the CEOs at the Coldplay concert who were cheating on their partners? They also kind of stepped down. I think typically if they don't step down, they end up getting fired, so that makes sense. But it'll be interesting to see who this new investment company is. Darren says, your team now looks scary. I don't want to face them. Yeah, I can't lie. I can't remember like a long time where I've been quite this happy with the team. Like, leaving Mark Gahey aside for a second, pretty much every year, as far as I can remember, I always feel like, we could have bought 1 or 2 more in. We could have bought 3 more in. But this is the first kind of transfer window in a long time where I'm quite happy with it. So yeah, I'm excited to see how things go. Simmons is a great signing, says Durwood. Yeah, very good signing. Spurs are also putting together quite a good team. Got Kudos, they got Simmons. He's on the ball right now. Pass to Gakpo. Almost got an assist, so I think he's very good. Laser says we're winning the treble. Would be very happy about that. Do you see Trey Neone getting some game time this season? I hope so. I think it's highly dependent on kind of who they are drawn against, if you know what I mean. I think if they are drawn against, I don't know, Man City, unlikely, but if they're drawn against a lower league team, and I don't want to say who because then we will get drawn against them and then we'll end up losing. But I would hope if we're drawn against a lower league team, he gets game time and Rio also gets game time. Jimbo Jumbo, Adam Wharton. Yeah, Adam Wharton would have been good signing. English too, which always helps with respect to the quota. Have you seen our Yeah, is this Newcastle? I saw somebody. Was it Dan or David? Something has been assigned the new CEO, which is interesting. I don't know much about him to kind of give more context, but there do seem to be quite a few changes happening. Changes at Newcastle, changes at Spurs. Darren says, "I envy you, Liverpool fans." Yeah, it's been a really good window. I appreciate we didn't buy anybody last year, so what it looks like has happened is they kind of saved the money from last year when they didn't buy anyone. They only, I say they didn't buy anyone. They only bought Chiesa, who cost like 10-12 million, but it looks like they've saved the money. Saved it in their bank account and then just spent it all next year. So yeah, it's exciting times, I can't lie. I'm just intrigued to get to that Burnley game now. Unfortunately, we've got this nonsense international football, but I'm excited to see how the team looks. I expect Isak to probably be on the bench for that game. I don't think he'll start because he's probably quite unfit, given he basically went on strike. But I'd hope he's on the bench. Durandi says, yeah, Liverpool really broke the bank this window. Yeah, I mean, they went all out. Again, there are perhaps kind of caveats to that. So whilst they spent a lot, they did also raise a lot of money through sales. And I think additionally, what they did spend as a net figure, so with respect to what they did not recoup, I think a lot of that came from last year. Because the steer that we were hearing last year was, we don't want to spend money yet, we want to assess the squad. And then when we think there's players who can add value, then we'll buy them. So last year, a lot of people were getting quite impatient that Liverpool were not buying anybody. And myself as well, to a certain degree. I wasn't quite losing my mind and screaming like an idiot, like some people were. But it seems like they've done their homework, just kind of saved their money, and then spent it on something they really wanted. Like they were like saving for a PlayStation rather than, I don't know, spending money on sweets every week. I don't know, something like that. Mr. Default is here and also here. How you doing, Mr. Default? Hope all is well with you. Darren says, the scary thing is your team has not clicked yet, but are still finding a way to win. Yeah, that is true. Scary to a certain degree, and also infuriating in another way, but I see what you mean. I see what you mean. I don't think the team is playing particularly well at the moment, but they are finding a way to kind of grind out results. So yeah, kind of once the new signings have bedded in and once the players get a bit more fit, I'm excited to see where kind of things will go. I mean, who knows where things will go? It might be a case of we turn around in 3 months and say, you know what, the players needed a adjusting period. I don't know, but I'm excited. I think they've done as much as they kind of conceivably could have. Mr. Default is also here and is also here. He's everywhere, indeed. You are the antithesis of Casemiro, who is nowhere. Casemiro can learn a lot from Mr. Default with respect to covering ground. Who scores? Who scored? Denzel Dumfries. Very good header, to be fair, from a corner. Oh my God! Did you see? Did you see that? There's that journalist who had been basically saying all summer that Isak would not sign for Liverpool, which again is fine. It's fine, but he was being quite vindictive and quite spiteful, and to be honest, quite unprofessional with respect to his conduct. And then we know, of course, Isak did sign for Liverpool, and then he put out an article saying there were rumors that Isak was not performing to his optimal level at the end of the season because he didn't want Newcastle to get Champions League, and then if Newcastle did not get Champions League, his value would go down, and then Liverpool could sign him for less. And that is a crazy thing to say, especially I wouldn't say that with just like a random Twitter account. And that's a very strange thing to say if you're an actual journalist who works for a publication. Rumors are that legal action might be pursued against it, and I'm not surprised. To be honest, he had a complete kind of generational head loss, to the point where I think it culminated in him saying that just to kind of feel better about himself. But it's gonna come back to bite him. It's gonna come back to bite him. 3-5-2 with Gravenberch holding midfield. Isak and Ekitike up front. Could work. It could work in certain games. Where would you put Salah in that formation? I'd just be curious. Would you put him on the right wing of the 5? Netherlands is basically Liverpool, says Mr. Default. I agree with you. When we were doing Nations League, like, you know how it says Ned at the top? I had it saying live for Liverpool, and then I just get people coming in saying, "Are Liverpool playing? Liverpool not playing." The joke doesn't translate, but I'm glad you appreciate it, and I'm glad you agree with it. United versus City predictions there. I was gonna go for a big City win, but Mr. Default is here now, so I have to behave myself. 2-0 City, maybe 2-1. I think City will win, but I think it will be close. Darren says it will take time for the new players to gel. When that happens, well, yeah, no, I agree with you. I think once the new players it is good to get new players. I think that does bring a level of expectation to a certain degree. But like, if they don't gel, like, I won't lose my mind. I'll be like, you know what? New players, young players, kind of most of them in a new country, most of them in a new league. So if it does become a case where Liverpool don't walk everything and there's inconsistencies and players need settling time, I think I'll be okay with that. But I'm excited to see how things go. Florian Wirtz in particular, I thought was a lot better in his third game compared to his first 2 games. So hopefully the gelling gels very quickly. Taste the Tester says Ruben Amorim's last game in charge, maybe. Do you reckon? We need him to hold on until the Liverpool game. But I do think the pressure is on him. Who would they get? It would be hilarious if they got Glasner, because Glasner threw a fit about losing Mark Gahey and said, "Look, if you lose him, I'm walking out." And it would be hilarious if a week later Man United sacked Amorim and got Glasner, and then Glasner walked out. That would be funny. There's rumours about Glasner. There's rumours about Southgate. But yeah, I think stick with him. Stick with my twin for a bit longer. I will be happy with that. Unnecessary shots fired, says Mr. Default. Yeah. Is that about the cat? To a certain degree, yes, but to a certain degree, I'm complimenting you. I'm saying you're more proactive and you're faster than a professional footballer. who's paid 350 grand a week. Therefore, you should get paid 350 grand a week. That's how I'm going to turn that around. Ikram says, how's Liverpool handling set pieces recently? I mean, we did score a free kick in the last game, so that's a positive, number one. And number two, apparently we've hired a set piece coach, so we should hopefully score a few more goals from corners very soon. Have you seen his goodbye video? This Mark Gahey's. I saw pictures of it. I watched like a few seconds of it, but you know when something's not gonna happen, you just end up not wanting to watch it because then you'll kind of feel sad about it. So yeah, I kind of skim clicked through it, kind of thing. That's a good point. To be fair, I forgot about that. You are higher than City. I would as weird as it sounds, I would rather Man United win that game. Because I think whilst a lot of the pressure has been on Amorim, Guardiola hasn't been too great either. I think it will be a draw. United will put forth everything. Who's at home for that one? The thing is, to be fair, I think Amorim does play quite good against Guardiola. So to be fair, a draw wouldn't really surprise me. Ikram says, easy clap. Harry says, there's been rumours about them getting Ange Postecoglou. I can't lie, that would be hilarious. But I think it could also work. I'm excited to see kind of where Ange goes next. I ended up feeling I can't lie, I did feel a bit sorry for him. Especially how he kind of won a trophy and then just ended up getting fired. And whilst he did say bad things about my team, I don't think he's a bad person. Sometimes you just get a good vibe from somebody. So I hope he gets a good job somewhere. Cesc Fabregas says taste the testers. What was that in context to? Oh, you think Fabregas could be the Man United manager? I know he's doing very good at Como, but that would be quite the step up. I did see that, yeah. the two goodbye messages where they put them kind of side by side and they were identical. It's just lazy, like how long is it gonna take you? Like, okay, maybe get ChatGPT to do the first one, right? And then maybe do an edited version of that for the second player. But to edit it it's not going to take you more than 5 minutes. It's not going to take you more than 5 minutes. Just use the first one as a baseline and then edit it. Yeah, they've got the exact same message. It's like, come on. If you're going to copy homework, don't make it obvious. Mr. Default does not want Ange for his team. Would you keep Amorim for your team, or would you go the Southgate route, which I can't believe I'm saying, or would you go the Glasner route or something else? Ian would give Ruben Amorim more time. I'd be in favour of that. Bailey says, hi, good evening. How are you, Bailey? Hope you're good. Season 3 is always better. Depends on the show. That depends on the show. Smallville, I don't know if anyone used to watch Smallville, but I felt like Smallville season 2 was better. But yeah, for Ange, we can say season 3 is better. Ian says Amorim needs another window to clear the old players out. Who else would you clear out? Would it be like Casemiro, Onana? You have bought a new keeper, that Simmons guy. Which, to be honest, if he's at least a stable pair of hands, I think that will be an upgrade. You know what I mean? Like just put in consistent 6 out of 10s, consistent 7 out of 10s, and I think that's good enough. Taster Testers says, I'm off now, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your evenings. May your weekends be full of good blessings and good fortunes. Your weekend as well. Hope you have a good weekend. And yeah, take care. See you soon. Hercules says Napoli fun. I am going to Napoli in a few months, which I'm looking forward to. But I presume you were referring to the team. But yeah, Napoli are good. Zaim says, did you hear about Daniel Levy? Yeah, I did. He has resigned from his position. Resigned at the kind of very high levels often just means either you say that you're resigning, or we say that you're fired. So in reality, he was probably fired, but he resigned kind of before that. I was curious as to the reason why. Apparently, a new investment arm is coming in. So Levy was the CEO, wasn't he? So they probably want their own CEO as a condition of their investment. So I presume that's what's happening. Yeah, it'll be weird not seeing him associated with Spurs, but I think Spurs fans, or many of them at least, will be quite happy to see the back of him. Mr. Default has given up all hope. Says, I don't know who I want to manage. I don't care anymore. Oh God. Understandable after years of trauma, I guess, watching that team. Finley says, what do you think about our window? I'm buzzing with the signings, in my opinion. I can't lie. I've not been quite this excited about a window in many years. Quite often Liverpool have windows and we bring in a few players, and it's fine, but you always feel like something's missing. Or at the very least, you always feel like a big chunk is missing. But I think this is the first window I remember in a long time where I don't feel like a big chunk is missing, and I'm very happy with it. So yeah, I'm excited to see what the future brings. Excited for that Burnley game. Unfortunately, they're giving us more international nonsense until then, but yeah, overall super happy with it. Like, Gahey would have been the icing on the cake. And okay, there's no icing on the cake, but there's still a cake. So I'll still eat the cake even though there's no icing on it. Chris says Nagelsmann, Xavi, Andoni Iraola, Oliver Glasner, those replacements. I think they'd be good. I think Glasner would be very good. Iraola also. I'd probably favour the latter two, I think. But all good options, I can't lie. All good options. Alan's very happy about a striker from Sweden. Oh yeah. I was getting, yeah, that makes sense. You bought Newcastle. At Newcastle's window. Who have you brought in? You bought Voltamade, Wissa. You have to remind me who else. But I'm sure you have made more signings. But if you're happy with it, that is a positive. Just waiting for the second half to start here. That Netherlands fan is drinking beer out of a jug. Oh yeah, Jacob Ramsey, yeah. Ramsdale. Would Ramsdale be a starter or like a it'd probably be Pope, wouldn't it? And Ramsdale as backup. Malik Theo, oh yeah, Elanga, yeah. Forgot about Elanga. Elanga's a good signing. Yeah, to be fair, looking at that, it looks pretty comprehensive, I can't lie. John Zena says overpriced. Anyone in particular who you think's overpriced? Ramsdale should be the starter, but Eddie's got so much trust in Pope for some reason. Yeah, you do see that sometimes. Managers clearly have their favourites, even though they say they don't have their favourites. It'll probably take or you'll probably need Nick Pope to have quite a few clangers before Ramsdale comes in. John, you can't see me. Zena says Elanga, Voltamade, and Vissa were overpriced. I thought Voltamade did seem a bit expensive. Vissa seemed like a good deal. Was it like 49, 50 million? And Elanga probably had Premier League tax, I guess. Oh, he had a year left. I didn't know he had a year left, to be fair. Okay, fair enough. I hear what you're saying. You feel like it was a panic buy. I guess it was the state of the market. Who was the other one? Strand Larsen. Did he end up staying? Did he end up staying at Wolves? Mikhail says Hinchcape will be an amazing player for Arsenal. Could do. Will he start? And where will he start? I guess that would be the question. Is he going to play like left back? I think you've let Zinchenko go. So is he going to play there? Or do you play Timber left back? I don't know. There's just so many defenders. Wissa had a Brentford deal for 26 million to leave. Brentford broke the promise and wanted more for him. Ah, right. And that's how it ended up being 50. That's how it ended up being 55. Right, so that's probably why he kind of went on strike and did all that. Which again, I understand, because if he didn't do that, as we saw with the Crystal Palace situation, unfortunately, if you do things the nice way, the professional way, you don't get your move. Boom, 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 boom. Isak's in the room. I like that one. Wolves kept Strand Larsen, but I don't rate him that much. I think he's good, but perhaps not worth the money that they were not worth the money they were asking. Who do you think the flop of the season will be? I haven't thought about that. And equally, I feel like if I just pick a name off the top of my head, it might not be the best answer. I'll have to think about that a bit. Oh yeah, Timber's right back. Yeah, so does that mean Hinchcape is going to be left back? That's kind of wild if you think about it. Poland are kicked off. Finley doesn't agree with Wissa's actions, but I understand it. Promise is broken. I'd do the same. Yeah, as we kind of saw, Isak did what he did. He got his move. Wissa did what he did. He got his move. But when it came to Crystal Palace, things were a lot more civilized, and the move ended up not happening. Unfortunately, Unfortunately, that shows that nice guys can finish last. Ikram says, "Do you think Liverpool's squad depth is strong enough?" Yeah, I think so. I think there's sufficient cover in all positions, apart from maybe centre back. But that's kind of why I guess we were in for a centre back. We have bought a centre back called Giovanni Leone, who is like 18, but he's massive. So whilst we do have somebody in, being 18, you still worry to a certain degree. But it is what it is. It's kinda done now. Oliver says 2-0 Gakpo. Oliver's ahead of me. Yeah, I'm just seeing Matty Cash hit it over the bar. Who's that needs centre back and midfield depth? Bro just said, yeah. Because Oliver said there's been a Gakpo goal, and I'm like, no, there hasn't. there's been no Gakpo goal. All I can see is Matty Cash on the floor. Yes, as Alexander Isak has said, still 1-0. Oh man, it's so hard. It's so hard to keep up to date. Okay, so you were Milos Kirkes when you were telling me about chicken, mushroom, and sweet corn pizza. Okay, then you became Ekatike when you were telling me about coronation chicken sandwiches. Then you became Leone, but for a short period of time. And now you are Alexander Isak. JB says, what are you talking about? I'm talking about Alexander Isak's username history and how I remember what username he used to have. So you were Kirkes a month ago, then Ekatike, then Leone, then Isak. Okay, I think I got it. Yes, you're talking about Isak and coronation chicken, because when Isak, so this person here called Alexander Isak, when he had the username called Ekatike, he was telling me about how he loved coronation chicken. And to be fair, I was saying it's disgusting. I don't like it. That's how I remember. So that's how I remember said user's username history. But the good news is, Alexander Isak is the last signing of the window, so hopefully we don't see a username change. But anyway, I hope you're good. Germany losing. They are losing to Slovakia. D. Hanko scored. Whoever that is. That's a bit of a surprise. I'm sure they'll come back, to be fair. I can't lie, I'm a bit concerned about that. One injury to Van Dijk and your defence is significantly weakened at the very least. You could definitely point to that as a kind of weak spot. That we're highly dependent on a 35-year-old centre back who thankfully is very good, and he's not particularly injury prone. But it's always a concern. Zaim says, early prediction for World Cup 2026 winner. Can I give the boring option? The boring option and the lazy option, which would be France. France just seem to have depth coming out their ears, and depth in multiple positions. They've even got players. There's even players who can't get into their team, who can't get into the France squad, who would be starters for other countries. I'd probably go with France, unless you know of anybody. Who would you go for? Fish says fish to Fishford. Is that your club or is that your country? Bailey says 2-0 Slovakia. John, you can't see me. Zena says 2-0 Slovakia. And it is 2-0 Slovakia. D. Strelec with the goal. That's a surprise, I can't lie. That is a surprise. Germany are indeed stinking up the gaff. Netherlands are not, but Germany are. Who do you think the top four? Who do you think the top four will be this year? Liverpool, Man City, Chelsea, Arsenal. Is that the lazy choice? Fishford is the fish version of Brentford. I see. Good to know. Good information as always. Check my boy Voltamade's rating. John Cena says it's 6.7. Yeah, the easy choice, but the right choice. Juan says, nice shirt, bro. Thank you. Appreciate that. I prepared myself for winter with the longer sleeves. But no, thank you very much. It is a bit darker in real life as in comparison to how it comes across. But yeah, I do like this one. It's quite nice. Memphis with a header, but it goes wide. It is interesting that Frankie de Jong has been a lot deeper than Gravenberch this game. So Gravenberch hasn't really been kind of playing the same, or hasn't really been playing the exact same role that he plays for Liverpool. NP19 says long sleeve, indeed. Yoink. Yoink. Preparing myself for winter. I've never had long sleeve before. Oh yeah, you were mentioning it the other day, and was it when you said something like I've got home, and I was like, what do you mean? And you were like home kit, and I was like, oh okay, yeah. Same. It looks classy. My first long sleeve too. Yeah, I think with the stripes, with the kind of stripes on the sleeve, it was a must. But yeah, I like it. It's nice. It's quite comfortable as well. It's kind of got like little holes in it, so it kind of keeps you cool as well. But yeah, I'm quite happy with it. Fish says, remember to put Galatasaray versus Liverpool in the thumbnail. I will. You'll just have to remind me when, like a few days before, because the Liverpool. I'm gonna look it up. Fish, the Liverpool versus Galatasaray game. That's like a month away. You'll have to just remind me like a week before or a few days before about the players that you want on the thumbnail, and I will do my best. Ikram says, what are your thoughts on the Liverpool goalkeeper situation? Pretty good. I mean, super happy with Alisson. Mamadashvili looks good. I mean, he's 6'6", so that's a good start. Armin Pesci, he played a bit in pre-season. He looked good. There's that Freddie Woodman guy who I presume we've signed to make up the quota, but here is what it is. But yeah, I mean, quite happy in general. Quite happy with in general. HB got short sleeve. I can't imagine wearing a long sleeve football shirt. I can't lie. It does take a bit of an adjustment. It does take a bit of an adjustment. I don't know how to explain it, but it kind of feels weird, but you get used to it. But you also kind of get used to it. Who do Liverpool have opening Champions League game? Let's have a look. Atletico Madrid. There. That's on the 17th. That's like 2 weeks away. That's not far. So they got Atletico Madrid there, and then they got Galatasaray 2 more weeks after that. So the good thing is, like, once this international silliness is out of the way, there's then a Sunday game, a Wednesday game, a Saturday game, a midweek game. We will kind of progress on to having 2 games a week. 2 games a week, and that's where the fun begins. Fish says, which players? Is this for your thumbnail? You'll have to remind me a few days before. I'll put the players on that you want. Freddie Woodman, way, yeah. This is that where he's saying his name on the thingy thing. NP19 says we have to finish top, no excuses. Is that top of the Champions League or top of the Premier League? Or both? Could be both. That should be an alright game for you then. I'm looking forward to it, yeah. To be honest, I'm just looking forward to 2 games a week. Then I don't have to watch nonsense like Netherlands versus Poland. But once you get into the swing of things, and then life becomes good again. Then I don't have to hunt for things on Netflix to watch because I've pretty much exhausted that as well. NP19 says both. I'd be happy with that. Finishing, finishing first place on both. I'd be quite happy with that. I know what you mean. I 100% know what you mean, especially considering we had kind of so much international football over the summer. We had that Nations League thing, and then we waited so long for the Premier League to come back, and then the Premier League finally came back. It came back for 3 games, and we were so happy because we just beat Arsenal and we were on a high. And then as soon as they give us something, they take it away. It's annoying. Our next game, I guess, is on the 14th. And I want to say that's close, but it's not. Like 14th is 10 days away. Which, to me, 10 days, that's a long time. If it's any consolation, once that's here, you'll then have like a game every 3 days, pretty much. So you'll have 14, 17, 20, 23, 27, 30. So if that's any consolation, hopefully that helps. Michael Owens, do you think the titles race will be close? I think so, yeah. I think Chelsea will be very good. Man City, Arsenal. Yeah, get rid of the international break. It's kind of pointless, and it just kind of tires players out, and then they come back and then they're injured, and then it's no fun, and then it's like, oh, then they start up the whole discussion about should we reduce the international games, and then that discussion lasts for about 5 minutes before they start playing more international games. Ikram says, you're the reason I watch. I appreciate that, Ikram. It's very kind. Hazza says, how you doing? I'm back. Oh, it's good to hear you're back. I'm good. I know I go on about the weather a lot, but it's because it irritates me. But it's getting a bit colder now, so I'm happy. How's things with you? The 14th is close, but not in football days. Yeah, I know what you mean. It just feels like such a long time. Like these 10-day gaps are getting quite irritating, because I swear, like between our second and third game, there was a 10-day gap. And I think possibly also between our first and second game, there's also a 10-day gap. So 10-day gaps appear to be the norm at the moment, which would equate to 3 games a month, which is nothing. So yeah, let's hope this will be resolved sooner or later. That is Burnley away, that first one on the 14th. Durwood has watched everything on YouTube for the past few days. Anything good? Any recommendations of any sort? I watched the documentary on Netflix about like that one about the jewelry heist. I'm trying not to spoil it, but like there's like a jewelry vault, right? And a guy, he rents out an office in the same building as the jewelry vault, and by renting out, MP19, I think those are the ones. I mean, I'm trying not to spoil it too much, and by renting out an office in the same building as the vault, he's given access to a safety deposit box in the vault, which means he can go in the vault whenever he basically wants. And again, I don't want to spoil more of it, but that facilitates him being able to do what he needs to do. Fish has a new vid on the channel. I will check that out. You'll have to tell us what it is. MP19 where it says, wait, never mind, it's different. It's a new one that came out a few days ago. The thing is, there are like quite a few There do tend to be quite a few like documentaries about heists and things. But this one, I think it came out about a week ago, but it is very good. I mean, I can try. Nah, it's not. It's not the buzz. The buzz. Let me see if I can find it. I probably shouldn't have spoiled as much as much as I did. But to be fair, I didn't go too deep. But oh god, I've actually watched quite a few of these. This one, I watched this one a few days ago. Unknown Number, the high school catfish. That one was quite good. First half was boring. Second half's really good. This Fred and Rose West, that's really good. Amy Bradley's Missing, that's really good. To be honest, I've seen pretty much all of these. I'm trying to find the jewelry one for you. Here, this one. Shit, it's a video. Better move back. But on there. Stolen, Heist of the Century. This is it. Stolen, the Heist of the Century. Really enjoyed it. It was really good. And if you like crime stuff in general, that Amy Bradley's Missing, that one's very good as well. But yeah, 10 out of 10 would recommend. Fish needs help with his test. Question says, Everton has 5 handsy flick, take 1 away. Would that be 4 handsy flick? Am I accurate with my 5 minus 1? Watch Diamond Heist on Netflix. Will this let me search? We'll Google it. This one, I guess. I've not seen that, but I'll make a note. I shall make a note to check that out. Nothing beats a good heist show, especially if it's based on fact. Lucas Torreira is tiny. Google him. As in, do you want me to Google the entire string or just Lucas Torreira? He's 5'6". I mean, I don't know if that's an accurate picture. I'd be tempted to say that that's been doctored, but it's from The Guardian, so I'd hope not. I mean, yeah, not the tallest of footballers, but I guess that does not always matter. 70 minutes into this game. Poland bringing on a sub. Szymanski's coming off. Next question is, if Poland have 77 World Cups, and is that a million? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 10 million. And 10 million minus 1 minus 7 minus 9. I feel like I feel like there's a bit missing from your question. CS Al UFC says, why do we have to play you twice in December? Is that Leeds, that one? I'm surprised. Is it Liverpool versus Leeds and Leeds versus Liverpool in December? Is one of those a cup? Probably not. Are they both Premier League? That is surprising. It's a conspiracy. SH says treble trouble. As in, do you think Liverpool will win the treble, or do you think a prospective treble is at risk? I'm hoping we can do a Somerville again. It's not often that I get annoyed at a game, but that's one that sticks out. And I think it was Curtis Jones in particular. And I think that's when Leeds beat Liverpool at Anfield, I think. And I think that's when they beat Liverpool's streak. So Liverpool had like a streak of not losing at Anfield for X amount of time. Like they had like a big run going, and then Leeds came to Anfield and Leeds broke that. I was not particularly happy about that. SH says, I think we are healthy enough for it. A treble. Yeah, I think so. I think if we'd signed Mark Gahey from Crystal Palace, I'd have a lot more confidence. But even irrespective of that, I think we've got a very good chance. I think the Premier League, I'm a lot more confident in, because I think Liverpool's kind of squad depth is very deep. They've got multiple good players in every position, other than maybe right wing. But leaving that aside for a second, I think Liverpool have got multiple good players in multiple positions, which means that there's also good options on the bench. So I think we'll do very well in the league at the very least. I think with the Champions League, we maybe need luck to a certain degree, because I think how you do is dependent on the draws that you get. I think we were maybe unlucky last year that Liverpool topped the group, but then got PSG early on in the knockout phases. But I think we're stronger than we were last year. And as you also saying there, never seen a squad depth like this in my life personally. Yeah, same. So I think given the squad depth and given the fact that it's Slot's second season, I think we've got a good chance. From my perspective, I don't remember in my life like ever finishing a transfer window quite this happy. To be fair, back in my day, we didn't have transfer windows at all. You could just buy a player whenever. But since the transfer windows came in, I don't ever remember being quite this happy. I mean, we've got Frimpong in, very good right back, can also play right wing very well. We've got Kirkes in, very good left back. He was in the team of the season last year. Very young. Had a very good performance against Madueke against Arsenal, so I'm happy about him. Who else we got? Isak, that one's obvious. Super happy about him. Isak's the most excited I've been about a player / striker since Fernando Torres, to be fair. Premier League proven striker who was very eager to join. So yeah, excited about him. Florian Wirtz, I think, is adapting to the league. I thought he was very good versus Arsenal, and I think he offers something different to what the other players in that position offered. So yeah, excited about him. I'm probably forgetting somebody. I mean, Rio Ngamo was breaking through, quite fearless. Fearless with the way he dribbles, fearless with the way he plays. So yeah, Super excited. Oh yeah, and Leone's looking good based on the fact that he's 18. He's massive. He's had a senior call up to the senior team for Italy. Mamardashvili looked pretty good in pre-season. Being 6'6" is always good for a goalkeeper. So yeah, excited. Fish is hungry. Should eat something then. We got lucky. Gomez. Oh, was it Gomez? Yeah, that was it. I remember. Leeds broke that run. I swear Curtis Jones did something very silly because I remember being annoyed at him. Fish says, is if Liverpool has $199.99, they 100. What does that equal? That's not a question. Are you saying they add 100 or they subtract 100? Or they divide by 100? Ikram says, what stands out to you? It's Fish's questions that don't make sense. CS says, I just remember Meslier having a right game and Rodrigo getting a tap in last minute. Fair enough. I was, yeah, it was very last minute. I do remember that. I remember being quite annoyed. Nonto whipped it to Bamford, and Bamford led it after summer. What happened to Patrick Bamford? Is he still at Leeds, or has he gone somewhere? Oh, he is still at Leeds. Patrick Bamford. Oh, you released him. You released him on a free. He's taking up too much money. Going to Celtic. Okay, fair enough. I totally forgot about him. HB says favorite Liverpool game you've ever watched. I would say I know the stereotypical ones are like Istanbul. Stereotypical ones are the Champions League final. Stereotypical ones are Barcelona. I'd maybe go for Liverpool. It was like Liverpool 5, Chelsea 1. And the reason why I remember that is because it's like one of the first games I ever remember. And I was like, oh my God, 5-1, that's so cool. And I think Liverpool were 5-0 up, and then Frank Leboeuf got a penalty, I think, at the end. So I'd go for that, just because it's like one of the earliest ones I remember. There's one even earlier than that, which was Liverpool 4, Newcastle 3, but I don't remember that one as well. I only vaguely remember that. Ikram says, do you like watching this? Not particularly. I'd rather watch Premier League or Champions League. Best game was when Alisson scored. Speaking of scoring, Fish will be very happy. His favourite player, Matty Cash, has just scored. But yeah, that was good. I remember him kind of running up and just being like, yeah, what's he going to do? Why are we sending a goalkeeper up? That absolutely never works. That's a complete waste of time. All that's going to happen is he's going to run up and then the defender's going to header it and then he's going to have to run all the way back. But no, he scored. Ended up scoring quite a good header. I mean, he had quite a good jump on him, which makes sense being a goalkeeper. But that's a good one as well, I think. Yeah, I think in recent memory, to be fair, I think that's really a good one. Fish is saying Chodzmi. Is that what does that mean? Is that you being happy that Matty Cash just scored? That was a nice goal just right there by Matty Cash. Top corner. CS says, yeah, gonna miss him, but got a full squad signed shirt with him. Can't complain. You know what, Vasu? That is my memory. That is that you know when I said you know when I said I barely remember that game. That's the one thing that I remember. I remember like Stan Collymore running off. Um and if it was at Anfield, it would have been at the Cop End. And he was just running off and he had like number 8 on his back. That's my main memory from that game. I think it might be a Vasu's memory as well. It was Stan Collymore, yeah. Well, especially the last goal. I think my memory of that game is the last goal. I think might have scored quite a few, but yeah, I was a bit young on that one, so I don't fully remember it, but partially remember it. Partially remember it. Allison goal versus West Brom was class. Very true. Underrated game. Liverpool 4, Fulham 3. Yeah, Liverpool have had quite a few high scoring games. Sometimes it's tough to have a favourite because there's just so many of them. Fish says, "Sir, I got an F in my test. Thank you for getting." How is that my fault? How is that my fault? I'm the one that always tells you to go revise. Does the F stand for fish or does it stand for something else? And secondly, what was the test? What was the test? Was it in a particular subject? Yeah, there's no way you got 1 out of 199. Because there's no test that's marked out of 100, that's marked out of 999, sorry. Don't they just give you 5 marks for just spelling your name? Frankie de Jong's coming off. Timber's coming on. Germany are still 2-0 down, which is a bit of a surprise. Vasu says Kevin Keegan was the coach of Newcastle after the Stan goal. He fell behind a pub board on Anfield. Roy Evans was our coach. Yeah, that rings a bell. Roy Evans was the coach that I kind of grew up with. It was Roy Evans, and then Gerard Houllier came in as a kind of co-manager type of deal, and then Houllier took over full time. But yeah, Roy Evans, those were the days. I remember Kevin Keegan. I don't remember him falling behind a pub board. I'd have to look that up. But yeah, that's one of the earliest games I remember. Was that the kit as well when it had like a white like a V-neck? Had like a white V-neck, I think. I think that was an Adidas kit as well. Commando's a Toon fan. It's legendary. Is that the falling over or the game in general? I'll have to look that up. Because I remember the game, but I was very young. It's pretty much like my earliest memory of a football game. It's called the Hat of the Stream test. That makes sense. That makes sense. Ikram says, how is Liverpool's midfield shaping up this season? It looks good. It looks good. I mean, typically they play a 4-2-3-1, so you could say there's two holders in a pivot and there's a number 10. In terms of the holders, they've got McAllister, they've got Gravenberch, they've got Curtis Jones, and they've got Szoboszlai who can play there. In terms of the number 10 position, they've got Florian Wirtz and they've got Szoboszlai. So I think it's pretty good. I think it's pretty good. There's also Trey Neoni. Who's a youngster who's quite good. So I think that's fine. Is that what, like, about like 5-6 players for 3 positions? I think that's good enough. A lot of people have a obsession with Liverpool getting like a destroyer type of defensive midfielder. And Endo. Sorry, I forgot about Endo. He's another one, and Endo. But I think the balance that there is in the team already is pretty good. Because whilst having a destroyer is good, typically if they're a destroyer, they're probably not a very good passer. And Liverpool tend to be a team who have a lot of the ball. So I think it's fine. I mean, they can maybe do with one more, but not anything that keeps me up at night. Liam got Cade Gordon's shirt on Tuesday. Very nice. That's good to hear. What are you gonna do with it? Like, are you gonna wear it? Are you gonna frame it and hang it in your house? Like, what's the plan? Collymore closing Liverpool lead in stoppage time. Martin Tyler, immortal commentary. Yeah, that's probably why I remember it. Like literally from that game, the only thing I remember is like Collymore running off, and like he had like his arms stretched out, and I just remember the number 8 on his back. Like that's my memory from that game. Liverpool and Newcastle, to be fair, did have like quite a few high-scoring, exciting games around that time. So yeah, and it beats a 1-0. Vasu says one of the coach Liverpool had who was not good was Roy, never been on the sidelines. Is that Roy Evans? Were you not a big fan of Roy Evans? I don't recall how long he was there, but I know like when I first started watching football, like as a kid, Roy Evans was the manager, but can't remember like how many years he was there for, if you know what I mean, because I don't know how long he was there for when I started watching. But I remember when Gerard Houllier came in as co-manager, and then Roy Evans left, and then Gerard Houllier was permanent manager. Then Gerard Houllier got sick, and Phil Thompson was the manager for a bit, and Phil Thompson won quite a few games, and then Houllier came back, and was it Houllier to Benitez? It might have been. Fish says it's my fault for getting him an F. He's going to Tesco now. It's a bit late for Tesco. Fish says, do you like football? No, I do not like football. It's the worst thing in the world. Ikram says, who has been Liverpool's standout player this season? Again, it's a bit hard to qualify it as this season because we've only had 3 games. But if you really wanted me to make a decision, I'd be probably leaning towards Van Dijk. I thought it was very good against Arsenal, very good against Newcastle, and very good against Crystal Palace. Yeah, I'd probably go for him. But I'd be hesitant to call him the player of the season, only because I feel like there hasn't really been a season yet. But we're into injury time. Fish hates fish. Where's Harry? Yeah, I'm not too sure actually. Where's his track? I've been waiting for his track that he was gonna make. Vasu says, but Evans shows the world players like Maka, Steve McManaman, Robbie Fowler, and Jamie Redknapp. True. So you're crediting him for kind of bringing those players into the first team. I think that's fair. I think that's fair. Was it Michael Owen as well, or was I guess Michael Owen would have been more Gerard Houllier, I guess. But yeah, Steve McManaman, 100%. Robbie Fowler, who many people would say is probably Liverpool's best ever finisher, and yeah, Jamie Redknapp. He did bring through the Spice Boys. Fish says boo 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 Bob ow. Why are you saying ow? Have you fallen over? Fish says Xbox One is my son. Does that make you Xbox 360? Is that your favorite console? Are you more of a Xbox type of person? Are you Xbox over PlayStation or are you PC? Ikram says, do you like what you see? It's been okay. It's been alright. Honestly, like Netherlands were basically dominating most of the game, if I'm honest with you. It was a bit of a wonder goal by Matty Cash to do that. But it's not bad. Can't complain. I did get some good suggestions for TV shows, which I'm gonna check out. I don't know what happens if this game stays at 1-1. Houllier made, yeah, that was it. Yeah, Gerard Houllier gave Michael Owen his big break. I think you're right. Roy Evans was, as you were saying earlier, Steve McManaman, Robbie Fowler, Jamie Redknapp. Who else was around that time? Neil Ruddock, but he was a bit older, I guess. Mark Wright. Yeah, what else can I remember? But yeah, I think you're right. So Julia was more Michael Owen, Steven Gerrard, Jamie Carragher. Fish says you are fish. Thank you very much. I thought you were fish, but all good. Yeah, Jason McAteer. Yeah, forgot about him. Was he number 4? Number 4. Jason McAteer. I think. Fish says paper towels. Thank you very much. Ikram says, how's Liverpool handling set pieces? I mean, scored a free kick against Arsenal, which is positive. Typically, I don't think we are, or should I say, typically, I don't feel like we are as effective from corner kicks as we perhaps could be. But the positive is apparently they've hired some sort of set piece coach who can hopefully sort that out. Let's hope so. Full time, I think. I don't think there's any I don't think there's any what's its face penalties or any shenanigans of that sort. Yeah, Germany ended up losing. It's a bit of a surprise. Spain ended up winning. But yeah, 1-1. Full time. Not bad. Expected more goals. Expected Netherlands to win, but what can you do? But anywho, Fish is tired, and I'm also tired because it's full time. Might be back tomorrow. I think France might be playing tomorrow, so might be back then, but we shall see. But if not, hope you guys have a nice weekend. Liverpool are back. Not this Sunday, but the Sunday after. So hopefully we should resume soon. DXR said, thought you were Salah, not gonna lie. Understandable, to be fair. Understandable. I'm the slightly better looking version. Quite a few people say Amarim as well, which I've heard. Are you doing the Sweden game? Is that tomorrow? I could do. Is that for Isak? Is that the? I was debating between the Sweden game or the France game. But should we do like Isak watch for the Sweden game instead? Yeah, I think so. Could give that a go, because apparently Isak is starting, and that's tomorrow 7:45. So yeah, I should be able to do that. We should be good for that. So cool. Be back tomorrow to see how Isak does, and how he makes Gyökeres look silly. But yeah, enjoy your evening, guys. I shall see you tomorrow. Take care, guys.